Hello and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for Leo. I'm Julia Mijas.
And I'm Jamie Kale Miller. Hey, Leo. Well, I want to tell you some things about career and finance. Now, for the first 2/3 of the month, you're going to be pretty absorbed in your job. That's because the ruler of your 10th house, which is Leo, that's governed by the sun, which is falling in your 6th house, the house of the job. So a lot of your energy and attention is going to be funneling into, is my behavior on the job a reflection of and contributing to my long-term progress in my career? Am I on track? And do my everyday workflows, reflect that and support that? So, the days around January 9th specifically, like the couple of days or a week surrounding January 9th, are particularly good for implementing changes in your workplace that will improve your situation in the long term, that will keep you on track for those long-term changes that you're wanting. Now, the reason you're wanting long-term changes is because Uranus is traveling through your 10th house on a 7-year journey to bring radical shifts to your career. So you've got your eyes on the prize. You're looking to make a radical leap, probably a radical leap upward, unless you're ready for a sabbatical, in which case it might be a radical leap downward. But either way, you're going to want it to be deliberate. And the sun's movement along the sign of Capricorn in your 6th house, trining that Uranus up there, is going to give you some opportunities to help that along. Now, when it comes to money, last month, we mentioned that there's some mystery in the area of your debt that it could reveal itself next month, which is now this month. And that's because you've got Neptune traveling in its long-term journey along your 8th house, making, finances a little bit of a mysterious zone for you in the long term, and also bringing up a lot of sort of fantasies and dreams and ideals about how well you could be doing with your investments, which might have led you down a few garden paths that really didn't yield very much. So you've got to watch out for being overly influenceable or credulous in your financial dealings, especially those that involve investing into pools with other people's money. So, but what I want to tell you is, the whole time from January 9th to 19th, as the sun continues traveling along through Capricorn, Leo, and the sun is a really important planet for you. It's watching its transits are a good thing. It's going to connect with Uranus harmoniously, and then Neptune harmoniously, and finally it's going to conjunct Pluto. And so during this time could be when hidden truths emerge, things become a little bit clearer, and you get some help understanding the best investment path for you going forward. So, Julia, I know you've got some news for the Leos out there about relationships. What's that good stuff?
Oh, so much stuff going on for Leo. Let's start with Juno, which is the marriage asteroid. Now, whether you're married or in a long-term partnership, Juno definitely pertains to you in either case. She's going to go retrograde in your 2nd house on January 13th. And when Juno goes retrograde, it's a time for a relationship review, a lot of relationship retrospection, and it's really going to affect you in the area of money. Is one of you maybe contributing more financially than the other? Does that feel asymmetrical? Do you guys feel like you need to work things through? So pay attention to your finances and those that you share with your partner, but don't be too critical, because it is going on in the sign of Virgo after all. Try to put on Virgo's higher side, which is the problem-solving side. We're also going to have a Leo full moon, and that means it's corresponding with your 1st house on January 25th. Now, a lot of people consider the 1st house the house of self. That is what it is. And it's kind of like, well, what does self have to do with relationships? The 1st house is really part of an axis. It opposes the 7th house of relationships. It's who you are within the context of a relationship. So there's a sense of a personal cycle that might be closing for you by the end of the month, a kind of a release that's happening. And while it might have a lot to do with you and who you are and how you project your energies out into the rest of the world, I think that a little bit of personal attention will go a long way in helping you in your relationships. Finally, finally, we have Pluto moving into your seventh house. This is a long-term transit. It's going to happen over a couple of decades. But you're going to start noticing some really big changes in your romantic relationships, your long-term partnership, your marriage. Pluto in the seventh house brings transformations that need to happen. Pluto likes to kind of kill off the dead, decaying parts in order for there to be some renewal. So this is a time to let a lot of tensions come to the surface. Don't kick things under the rug during a Pluto transit. And I would say that if you're having a hard time in your relationship, couples therapy will really, really help out so that you guys can make a joint transformation together for the better of your relationship too. Well, that's all we have for you today. And if you enjoyed this horoscope, please, please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and tell your friends about us.
Find our site at pandoraastrology.com to get a reading with one of us, and find us on Patreon for workshops and classes. And we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.